Shalom, shalom. Welcome again. Back at you again with another Shabbat class. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to go ahead and go over chapters 18 through 21. We're going to get into Jethro advising Moses, get into Israel finally reaching Mount Sinai, us getting the first 10 commandments, and then get into some laws concerning the servants or slaves, however you want to label it. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to the brothers really quick, and we're going to go ahead and get through the first two chapters, and then I'll be back shortly as I deal with the little one here. So first and foremost, all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Thank you for all the brothers on the panel jumping on and continuing to jump on in the class. Anybody got anything they want to jump out, any or bring out, any announcements or anything like that they want to bring out before we get started?
No.
Con. Also, shalom. Hope all the families is good. Shout out to everybody, family and extended family. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to the brothers. I'm gonna go ahead and put Exodus on the screen here. I know, Bond. Hold up.
Con. All right. I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it. Can everybody hear me?
Con.
All right. Exodus chapter 18. Go ahead and get started. Verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. Verse 4. And the name of the other was Eleazar. For the God of my father said he was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her two sons with her. Verse 7. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other for their welfare. And they came into the tent, and Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and unto the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that he had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who have delivered you out of the land of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who have delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Verse 11. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. before I hop into this next paragraph, we know that Jethro is a Midianite, and it says that Jethro, it says that he took a burnt offering and a sacrifice for God. Now, why did they allow Jethro to do that? Does anybody know? Because he's a Midianite. They wouldn't allow an Egyptian, a Canaanite. Do you know why they allowed him to do it? So they allowed Jethro to do it because, for one, he's a Midianite, and Midian was a son of Abraham. So he's a Hebrew. The Midianites spoke Hebrew. So Jethro knows the law. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this was allowed. You know, if this was an Egyptian, a Canaanite, anyone outside of Abraham, it would have never been allowed. They would have been like, no, we're not doing that, because it would have been a sacrifice unto some type of idol or something, or it'll be an abomination to the Most High, rather. Verse 13, starting a new paragraph. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. And then Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people. He said, "What is this thing that thou doest to thy people? Why sittest?" Or I'm reading the 16:11. So it says, "Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until evening?" And Moses said unto his father-in-law, "Because the people come unto me to inquire of God when they have a matter. They come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws." And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, "The thing that thou doest is not good." Verse 18, "Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone." Verse 19, "Hearken now unto my voice. I will give you the counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to go or to Godward, that thou mayest bring the cause unto God." Verse 20, "And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and work that they must do." So ordinances will be like, if you broke the law, the ordinance would be the carry out phase of that law. Basically, if someone committed adultery, the punishment is death. So that the death part is the ordinances. You see what I'm saying? So continue on, verse 21. "Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating conscience, what is that? Covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of tens." Now this verse right here is like, I feel like One West be going by that, because I believe like what is that camp? ISUPK. They be using this verse. You got General Yohana. He like a what do you call it? A captain of like 25,000, and then they got captains of 10,000s and stuff like that. So that's where they're getting it from. Verse 22, "And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge, so shall it be easier for thyself, and thou shalt bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure. And all this people shall also go to their place in peace. Verse 24. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said, or that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way unto his own land. All right, does anybody want to bring something out about that chapter?
Slacky, I wanted to say something real quick. As you can see, the Most High gave the authority to Moses, and then he created a chain of command. And that I say that to say this, that the Most High did that because the Most High wasn't going to be dabbling in man's all small affairs. And that could be echoed to the same degree as Moses, because Moses wasn't dabbling in the smallest affairs. He let people figure that out amongst themselves, and then the heavier matters, then they brought, and moved them up the chain of command. And I also say that to say this, that cuts that Calvinist doctrine that brothers is going around pushing, that we're robots and we don't have any free will when it comes to choosing the law, statutes, and commandments and choosing to serve the Most High. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and I just find it that this is like establishing order. Like small matters, it should be brought to, first it should be brought to, like, if you're the head of the house, the small, like a woman should not overstep her man and go to counsel with the camp, about certain things. If it's small, that could be established between her head and her. And then if it's big, like a divorce or something, okay, then we take it to a council with the eldership to get counseling. Now, if it's something, and I personally seen it, if it's something where it's like violence or something that's just kind of crazy, where they try to get Esau involved in it, then they'll go to, like, a bigger council where we don't participate in it. But I'm just saying, what was established there was Israel being accountable for itself, because all the accountability was thrown on Moses, and Moses pretty much took that and divvied it up. And now it's like, okay, no, it's not just me no more. It's all of us. We all accountable for each other. So that type of what do you call that? That type of structure of command is needed with Israel. We don't really have that. So we got to practice that when the time comes. So y'all want to go into the next chapter, or anybody else want to bring something else out? All right, let's continue. Verse 19, or chapter 19. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. So they going into the third month. Do anybody know what season it is going into the third month? If y'all got the calendar, you'll know what season it is. So going into the third month, from the first month, it's getting ready to be summertime. When that fourth month hit, it's summertime. So when you look at it, you go from April, May, June, summertime. They say the summer solstice is June 21st. So it's summertime when they making their way up into the wilderness of Sinai. All right, verse 2. For they were departed from what's that? Rephidim. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all of the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. All right, somebody break that down.
Yeah, Slocky. I was gonna say who got a precept for that because we uncovered that 3 and 4 times over through our Torah class.
Khan, that's like part of the royal scriptures right there. That's like one of our, main go-tos. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got to be able to break that down. So anybody want to volunteer and break that down? Like what's that saying, or got a precept like the ox said?
How about this? Who can show me where it was first said that we would be a nation of kings and priests?
How many people on?
We got like 6 people on here. 5, not including me. All right, so we're not sitting here wasting time. That's going to be going. Among other scriptures, you can go back to the promise that was made to Abraham, where it says a vast nation is going to come out, and he's going to be a nation of kings and a nation of priests. That's echoing back to that. So how we're showing, going and start back in our Genesis class, how the promises pertain for Abraham and his descendants, following that same pattern, and it hasn't stopped. We are still dealing with the descendants of Abraham, and we're still dealing with the same promises that were made to Abraham.
Con, what? I thought I heard a brother out there saying something. Did you want to bring something out?
Yeah, Salakia. Just saying what Natazab was saying. It was Genesis 12 and 1, through 2 and 3.
Bring that out. What that say?
Salakia, you cut out. What'd you say?
Read the precept. What that say? You said Genesis 12.
Yeah. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
I think the one I was looking for is in Genesis 17, I believe. I think though, but that is a good precept.
Can somebody bring that out?
I think which one you talking about? Genesis 17 and 1?
Oh, chapter 17 and 5.
Yeah, verse
5 and 6.
Yeah, what that say?
I'll start at 5. I'll start at 5. Genesis chapter 17, verse 5 reads, Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
There it
And I will
is.
establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee and their generations,
There
for
it
an
is right there.
everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
There it is right there. And that's the continuing theme you're going to find throughout the entire Bible. Old Testament, you're going to find that Torah, Tanakh, Apocrypha, New Testament, all throughout the scriptures. The promises are made to Israel and to Abraham's descendants, and we're the nations of kings and priests that are to rise up there. A beautiful precept. Love it, brother. Thank you.
And I just want to say, Akim, like I see a lot of people on here. If you got anything, bring it out, cause I'm taking notes myself. If you got questions, no question is dumb or stupid. Ask them, because you might be edifying somebody with a question. We all here to learn at the end of the day. We're never trying to stop learning. So like let's come with it, man. Whatever whenever one of the Akim say, hey, you want to break it down or got a question, just come with it, because I'm taking notes. All right, so let's continue. Now that we got that precept, Exodus.
Salakia. I don't want to jump too forward, but it's still on the topic because we dealing with the Old Testament, but here's a precept for y'all in the New Testament. It's First Peter 2 and verse 9. And when you read up, it's talking about the chief cornerstone, the elect precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. We know it's Christ going into all that. So when you get to verse 9, it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
That goes exactly with that, because that peculiar people lines up exactly what it says in Exodus, that will be a peculiar treasure. So just like what it says, I forget what scripture it is. Hey, what did I say? It says we are the hidden ones. That's another way of saying you're the gems or the jewels or the treasure, because you hide those things, you put them in a safe, you know what I mean, or you make sure that they're tucked away, so that we are that peculiar people or that peculiar treasure, to line those two scriptures up.
Hey, the water for that, because I got a new Bible and I'm precepting as I'm getting these precepts of the water. All right, so I'll continue. Let's see where we at. 7, verse 7. All right, verse 7. Verse 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, go unto the people and and sacrifice them, or no, Salakia, and sanctify them a day and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bonds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves that ye go up into the mount or touch the border or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot thorough, or what's that? My Bible kind of cut off. Should be stoned or shot thorough. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, behold, or said unto the people, be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass, verse 16, and it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke there.
If I forget, there was some Edomite on TikTok, but he went to the actual Mount Sinai and proved how, like, basically he was proving how the Bible was real. He went to the actual Mount Sinai and proved how the top of Mount Sinai is burnt.
Oh man, like brimstone.
So if you find what the actual, I forget how you search for it, but he went in and he searched for it and he showed you how the top of the mountain is burnt. And he was like, it's not a volcano, so it has no reason of, you know what I mean, there's not natural brush fires like California or anything like that. He was like, so the experts want to tell you, you know what I mean, it's X, Y, and Z. He was like, you know what I mean, he was like, but biblically speaking, we all know what this is. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
That's crazy. Because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, go down, charge the people, lest they break thorough unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also which come near to the Lord sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for thou chargest us, saying, set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. And the Lord said unto him, away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. So only Moses, Aaron, and the priests went up? Oh, no, only Moses and Aaron went up? Because it said, but let not the priests and the people.
I don't believe Aaron went up, because when we get to the golden calf, Aaron is the one who melted the gold for him.
Oh, shit. Salakia.
Not to jump ahead. Sorry to spoil the story for those who haven't read the Bible, but you know. But yeah, Aaron was down there in the mix, and Moses came down and made him. He would like turned it into dust and made him drink it or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, he was down there. I think we can go back and reread that and get some understanding. But I know for sure that Aaron was with the Israelites right when we're gonna get to it, and he's gonna go down. Basically, before he gets done giving it to him, he was like, "All right, man, go down there and get the Israelites because they wilding, and we only got the 10 Commandments." So he went down there, and I think Moses ended up breaking them, and then he had to go get some more. You know what I mean? Out, blah blah blah. So yeah.
Khan, you want me to keep going to 20, right?
Yeah. Hold on. And not hold on, but yeah, go ahead.
Khan. All right. Chapter 20. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto them, or Salaki, and showing mercy unto thou and unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day,
I thought this is us getting the 10 Commandments. What do you mean? Remember the Sabbath day?
That's a commandment,
right? So I say that to say this: there's a lot of people thinking when we got the 10 Commandments on Sinai, that's when we started keeping the law. Shortly after, when you go to verse 8, it cuts that understanding because it says remember the Sabbath. So that lets you know that they were already at one point in time keeping the Sabbath and keeping the holy days and the traditions, and then they lost that at some point in time. When? During the Egyptian captivity. That was it.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. I wanted to bring some on verse 6, but I'll come back to that. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Verse 12, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed. My book say remove. They removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of the earth, or Salakia, an altar of earth, thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice there on thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thy oxen, in all places where I record my name. I will not, or I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy stool upon it, or if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shall thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. All right. All right, so let's see. We just went through the 10 Commandments. I say, let me see.
You said you wanted to bring something out about verse 6?
Yeah, like verse 6, and what's that? John, that
1 John 5 and 3.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly where I was going. That would be a precept, because it tells you, right, the Most High is saying he shows mercy unto those that love him and keep his commandments. So if somebody doesn't get it when we go to First John, and we say, what is love? Because people always say, well, I love God. Well, what is love? Because it's not no hugs and kisses, it's keeping the commandments. So if they don't get it, well, we could just go right here and cut them and show them that God is telling us he only show mercy to those that love him and keep his commandments. So you stuck, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. It says, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. People try to say, oh, it's impossible to keep the commandments. It's hard. No, it's not. That means you're saying something else than what the Bible's saying. The Bible's saying keeping the commandments are not hard. So you're supposed to be asleep, bro.
Let's see, 21. Okay, I see 22. All right. This is Exodus 21. Was that it on that?
Yeah, that was it.
Exodus 21. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. Damn. That's tough. Verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the door post, and his master shall bore his ear through with an what's that? Because I've got an old English book. Is that Avu with
What verse you
AV?
on?
Verse 6, is that Avu or uh
Let's see.
chapter
It
1, verse
says,
6?
shall bring
think
you
it's
into the judges, and you
all.
shall come to the door. And he said, "How bored."
Oh, it just say all?
Yeah, it's like
Mine says AUL.
Yeah, mine
AUL
say
con.
AULE. So
We
all, I
got to
guess.
find out what that is. Hold on.
His master shall bore his ear or through with an awl.
It looks like something to poke something with, or like a ear piercer.
It's an all. That's how you use the ALW or say AWL. Um, a boring instrument. Yeah. So what the brother was bringing out, something like you use to pierce with, or something like that. Or you can think of it like those little sticks you use for the fireplace, something like that, or you know what I mean, something that you use to
Oh,
act,
like a branding, like being branded.
something like that. Yeah, but like more like the poker one though, because it says a boring
What
instrument
the
when you burrow or you bore into something, you kind of like hollowing it out, or you know what I mean, carving it out, carving into something.
con? Okay, so this was how they branded the Hebrew slaves, or make it distinct that this is a Hebrew slave and not another kind of slave.
Stew the ear to the door, and he shall the servant forever.
So I
Yeah,
wonder if
yeah, that's what it's going to. Because if you go to Deuteronomy 15 and 17, like it says here on the screen, that's it. That's it's in the same context. That's what it's being used as.
I wonder if the slaves had their ears pierced. Maybe that could have been a sign that that was a slave with the ears pierced with like a hoop earring or something. I don't know. All right. Can we continue?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, verse 7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the manservants do. If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. Can we break that down? That's let's see. If she please not her master, whom have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her.
Let me see what this word stranger or strange is. What's that
Slave
strange?
women,
You said what?
they had sex. I just used her, and
It says betrothed though, so I mean,
Con, that's what I was about to say too.
yeah, it's not like he's using. I mean, I guess like you know how relationships go bad. You see what I'm saying? I think that's really what it's getting at. And then Nakaria. Okay, let me see. I think this is dealing with an Israelite actually. Hold up, let me see. Alien, strange, stranger, outlandish. Oh, hold up, never mind. Okay, so yeah, this might be going into an actual different nation.
Okay.
If it doesn't. Okay, hold on. Let's see. It says, hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and thou according to all that the stranger calleth to thee, for that the people of the earth may know thy name, to fear you do as thy people Israel is. Okay, so yeah, it's putting it in contrast. Solomon loved many strange women according to the daughters of Pharaoh. Yep, it's talking about other nations, not pertaining to Israel. Okay, so we got that. All right, so read that verse from the top out.
Con, if she please not her master.
So he's not pleased with her at all. They done got married because he already betrothed her. We found that out in the next sentence here. So he betrothed her and he's not pleased. Go ahead.
Con, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed.
Now that redeemed is going into basically because he betrothed her, not necessarily married her, but he bought her to be his possession. And let's say he bought her to clean and cook, but her food is shitty. You see what I'm saying? So he's like, you know what? You can't even do what I hired you to do. So now he has to let her go get a job somewhere else. It says to sell her into a strange nation. It says, but in addition to that, he's not going to have any, I guess he doesn't really control where she's going to end up going. I'm not, let's see. Because that strange is definitely dealing with the other nations.
Why does it say that he dealt with her deceitfully? Like, what part was the lie?
That's what I was trying. That's what I was gonna. Literally, I was just gonna say that. I was like, but I don't know why it says he dealt with her deceitfully, unless we can line this up with the
Because all it says he was pleased with her. That's all it says. He wasn't. If he wasn't pleased, they don't really give detail on that matter. What is pleased, or like it could, like you know how when Christ brought up the Pharisees asking the question. So with dealing with divorce. Y'all know about that, right?
I don't think they know what you're talking about.
Okay, when Christ had to explain to the Pharisees, when they asked Christ, can we divorce our wife for any cause? So I'm looking like whatever he was displeased with must have not been right. You feel me? It don't give us detail.
Yeah.
But it just says displeased. If her master is not pleased with her, what is pleased? So obviously he didn't do something right. So that's what I'm saying. It's not really. It don't give you a real detail on that matter.
Right. That's what I was saying. It could be something as far as like he hired her to be a cook and clean. She half-ass cleans and her food is shit. So it's like, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Now you're going to put her out of having a job and things like that. So it's just like, I think it's going into that unless somebody got some precepts that explain something else.
And that's why I brought in with Christ, that situation.
Yeah, that was a good precept to pull out.
Because they was asking can we divorce our wife for any cause? Because you're not pleased with her, right? But what is that?
Exactly. That would be any cause.
So that's the only way I can link these two to make sense, because they don't give no detail in this chapter on that matter.
Didn't he say that any man that divorces his wife for any cause is an adulterer or something like that?
Right. Basically, if you divorcing your wife for small things, and then you get another wife, and then you divorce her for something small, and then you get another, you're creating whores out of these women, because one, the topic what he was dealing with at that point is you're not properly divorcing these women, you're just sending them off. That's why he said it should be for these main reasons that you get a divorce and issue a bill of divorce, but you should issue a bill of divorce nonetheless. That way it's a clean break in the divorce. Because if not, y'all are still tied together. Then you're going to be going off of somebody else. She's going to be going off of somebody else, and y'all still going to be technically together.
Con. So all right. Then shall he let her be redeemed. So is she going? So you said. So who is she being redeemed by? Like by the Most High, or is she being redeemed by her nation? Her
No,
age?
she's more than likely in this aspect. We got to keep the whole chapter in context. So these are the laws and ordinances or concerning how we deal with servants. So in this aspect, basically you don't want to employ her anymore. So you have to allow her to get employment somewhere else. Just like in the case of well, it's not just like, but it's similar to the case of Ruth, where she was serving in the field, and then Boaz was like, "Oh, hey, you ain't got to do it. Come with me." And you know what I mean? She tried to change from serving to get money for her family to basically, going with Boaz. So she was a servant in the field. That's the reason why I said that. But and he came and he redeemed her from being a servant in the field, but as to be his wife, not to be another servant. He could have bought her to be another servant, but he bought her to be his wife. You see what I'm saying? So in that aspect, you can be redeemed in the servant realm. I don't know why.
Okay. That makes sense.
In the servant field. So that's so that's how that goes.
All right, and then
there's a precept that it talks about the year of Jubilee that it talked about earlier in this chapter, that you're supposed to serve for 6 years, then you let them go. And I think it's in Leviticus. Hold on, let me get my sword real quick.
The second verse, if thou shalt buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So the 7th year be the Jubilee. To sell her into a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. So when it's saying that he should have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her, I mean, what does that mean? Like,
it has to be dealing with the divorce.
Okay.
He has no power.
I mean, because unless the only other precept that I could think about off top that lines up with this would be what is that? Where it says if a man betroth a damsel and then he have to go to the father, and what that would be the only thing that I could think of that goes with this directly. Like I said, unless somebody got some other precepts. Unless that word deceitful is not going into what we think it is. I mean, we could look that up and see.
Because I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this is dealing with.
Maybe it says it uses a different word in a different version. We can look that up as well.
Yeah, because all it's saying when it says he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully. That's why he don't have no power over, because he dealt deceitfully, which means that's why he's going to sell her to a strange nation, right? Sold her to a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her. That's where he lost his power.
Like he can't do nothing with it. So he had to sell her.
That wouldn't be deceitful, though.
Huh?
If that's the case, that wouldn't be deceitful. Like if she's just shitty at her job and he lets her know, hey, you're shitty at your job, I gotta fire you. That's not deceitful.
No.
That's being honest.
Yeah, but that's why
I gotta get rid of you.
Well, I can see. But if he had knew he wasn't into her and then just told her to do anyways.
Right. Now that does change. Now if his intentions were one thing and he, you know what I mean, made it seem like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hire her to cook and clean, and now you're trying, Elijah, chill out. You're trying to hire her to cook and clean, and now you're trying to smash on her and trying to have babies and stuff, and she's not with it, and now you want to get rid of her. Now that could be the case. You see what I'm saying?
I think that's what it is.
That very well could be the case. Like I said, it doesn't give us too much to go on. The context starts at 7. It says, if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. It says, if she please not her master, who has betrothed her to himself. It doesn't say for what reason. He just betrothed her to himself. It says, then shall he let her be redeemed. It says to sell her. It says to sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing how he has dealt deceitfully unto. So I think it's saying like if she does end up going to another nation, he doesn't really control how that works out.
Hey, Salakia, I look at the Hebrew word they use for please, and I'll tell you all right there. The Hebrew word they use for please. Because in the 1611, it got the little cross next to please.
Okay.
So I'm like, why they put the little, the little cross mark next to please? Like they must be going into it. Yeah. It says, so the definitions I got is of the physical eye, showing mental qualities, mental and spiritual faculties. So like she could be spiritually off. You feel me? She could be just dumb, or she could just be ugly. You feel me? Like I feel like that makes sense. You feel me? Like it basically saying like, if you get rid of her for these 3 things, you know what I'm saying? Like when it says please not her master, because you could look at please not her master. The average Israelite gonna look at that and be like, oh.
Yeah, because if you look at any other time that word is used as only it's usually used as the word I, like actually I, not as in, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have to go with that other definition, the one that you're talking about, the mental and the spiritual faculties.
Con.
So that gives us a little better understanding.
Yeah, and it's still dealing with like servant women. This ain't gonna be like it's not gonna be like your wife that this is like what do you call it? A concubine, not a concubine, but like if you were just to have multiple wives, it's not your first. It's not gonna be your first. It's gonna be like a servant wife type of setup, right? Like because you bought her.
Well, it depends on why he betrothed her, I guess you could say.
To himself, right?
Wait, hold on. Betroth means to engage. Like if you're engaged.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Salakia. That's why I went to with the whole Christ thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say so with that being said, we're gonna have to go with that preset right there, because a betroth means the same thing to propose and be engaged to.
She was promised to him. That was promised to be his.
Right.
So like Jacob and like all the sisters, like the sisters of the other women of are not sisters, but like
you had Isaac and Rebecca. You can go back to that. She was promised to him, and when she saw him, she pulled over the veil. That was a betrothal.
So even servant women could be betrothed unto a Israelite man.
Yeah.
So okay. But if you find anything that doesn't please you about her mentally, her spiritual faculties, meaning like, who does she serve? What's her God? That's a faculty, so it's like, what's her premises on like God? Like, is she into like Greek mythology? That might not please you. So you want to get rid of her. You know what I'm saying? So you sell her into a strange nation, that's how I'm looking at it. Seeing that he had dealt deceitfully with her. Hold on.
That last part is what changes
But but all you know is deceitfully. You can't really get into detail. That's why you got to keep reading. Because when you get in, you trying to figure out what was the deceitful part. It's not clear on that.
Okay.
All we could. That's why I went back to Matthew when Christ dealt with the Pharisees' question.
Yeah,
Can we
hey, the more we go into it, that's the only precept that makes sense. That Matthew
yeah,
scripture.
I
because
like
they asked Christ, can we divorce can we divorce for any cause? So that would be a displeasing. Like whatever displeases me, I can
Right,
divorce her.
right.
So
And then
this is
he
what
said he only gave you that in the law out of the hardness of your hearts.
exactly.
And then he goes on to say that the Most High wishes that we don't get divorced in the first place, but you know what I mean, he knew it was going to happen, so therefore he made the law what it is.
So don't get stuck on this deceitfully part because you're trying to figure it out. Like what was it that made them deceitfully?
okay. All right.
That's why I use the example of Matthew and he calls. If it's going against, obviously it's going against God's laws or God's ways, right? So we
Yep.
know not to go that route. We got to keep everything in its proper order. We do divorce, we got to do it the right way. Things like that. But you could go ahead, Art.
Con. Verse 9. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
Con right there. So look, that's what we should have kept doing. Just keep reading in context because it is talking about them. That betrothal is talking about them being engaged because when we go to verse 10, it says if he takes another wife. And then when we go to verse 9, it says, and if he have betrothed her unto his son, meaning, okay, if he didn't take her to be his wife, but his son's wife, he has to deal with her after the
Uh,
manner of daughters. He can't treat
Like
her
a
like,
daughter,
right. He can't treat her like, oh, well, you know what I mean? You just a little thought bopper, you know what I mean? Even though you like, no, that's your daughter now because you got her for your son. So basically, you know what I mean? So it is going into that aspect. It's in a relationship aspect. It's not just like, because the context changes in verse 7. So it's not just like a woman's servant. Could she be? Yeah, technically, I guess if you want to take it there, but this is talking about an actual relationship. So yeah, that Matthew scripture is going to come up. That's going to be the one we're going to go to for this.
Verse 11. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall he go out free without money, or then shall she go out free without money. Okay, so verse 7 off the rip, it tell you, and if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as a manservants do. So basically saying that the women's servants, they serve a different role than the male. Like when it says does not go out like them, so they serve a different purpose. And like basically, if a man sold his daughter, so if the father sold his daughter, maybe the daughter had to be sold because the man got too many kids and was like, all right, I need to get rid of some of y'all kids and I'm gonna just start selling y'all off to, you know what I mean? Or I don't know. That's
Hold up, I got a precept for that.
okay.
Hold up, Leviticus 25.
Because we know when you marry a virgin, you gotta pay a what they call it, a dowry. So it's just like because 7 through 11, a lot of brothers get that wrong, and that's why I got so much questions because I be like kind of lost right there.
All right, we're gonna get a little bit of understanding because this is kind of dealing with the same thing, more or less. 23. Hey, turn that down, man. Come on. All right, so this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verses 23. We're going to read 23 to 26, and I'm going to jump down a little bit. It says, and the land shall not be sold forever. It says, for the land is mine. It says, for ye are strangers and sojourners with me. It says, and in all the land of your possessions, ye shall grant a redemption for the land. So this is why this way when marriages happen, the one tribe doesn't end up with all the land, because one tribe numbers wise may be more, for whatever reason, the women of Israel and of other nations may love that one tribe particularly more than others. So the inheritance doesn't get swapped over too much, and then you end up with, certain tribes without an inheritance land. This is what we're supposed to do. It says, and in all the land of your possessions, you shall grant a redemption for the land. Okay, now, so this is going into what we were going into now. That was something else. It says, if thy brother be waxing poor, it says, and has sold away some of his possessions, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, it says, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. We're just going into the land. It says, let me see what we're going down to. Verse 39. It says, and if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor and be sold unto thee. Now, this is talking about actual Israelites being sold. It says, if your brother becomes poor, because that could be the case, just like we see in Ruth, they were dirt poor, so Ruth ended up being sold into servitude so they can make some money. Let your brother be waxen poor and be sold unto thee. Thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant. It says, but as a hired servant. It says, and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee, and thou shalt serve him unto the year of the Jubilee.
Which is the 7th year.
That's the 7th year. Yep. Okay, and then so this might be going into, because when we go further down, right here in 44, it says, thy bondmen and thy bondmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen which are round about you, and of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which shall be gat in your land, and they shall be your possession. So that could be what it's going into as well.
Because it did say to sell her unto a strange nation.
Right, exactly. And then I think it would have to be talking about what that particular situation, because if I'm not mistaken, you're not allowed to sell an Israelite to a foreigner.
Right. We had a debate about that dealing with Ruth.
Right. I'm trying to look. Let me go to Ruth real quick.
Yeah,
Ruth 4:3.
We brought that out on that Ruth video, because the whole time I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking of Ruth, and I'm like, hold on. You feel me?
Leviticus 25 and 25.
Let's see. I think that's it. If thy brother, no, because I know, none of the men that was related to Ruth's husband wanted her, or something like that.
So, it was the first kin. The first kin wasn't able to, because he was going to mess up his inheritance. So he was like, I can't take it. You have to give it to the next of kin. So basically, it doesn't just go to whoever. It has to be the next of kin in the family.
We probably got to read this whole chapter, or just at 25, and then to like.
I think we may have to go to Deuteronomy 15 and 12. Let me check real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 12. It says, and if thy brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free. And when thou hast sendeth him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish his liberally out of thy flock. No, that's not the one I wanted. There's a verse that says thou shalt not that we're not supposed to. Where is it? Is it Numbers? Numbers. Let's see. Numbers. I'm just gonna go through all these precepts. Numbers 27 and 11. Let's see. We gonna find it. Numbers 27. Nah, I'm just gonna pull it up. I know what the precepts. I just got all my precepts here in my sword. So 27. The hell? Oh, okay. Start at 8. It says, and thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no son, he shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. It says, and if he have no daughter, then he shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he have no brethren, he shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren. And if his father have no brethren, he shall give his inheritance unto the kinsman, which is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it, and he shall go to the children of Israel, statute, judgment, and commandment. That's not it. Dang.
You're not talking about what you looking for where you can't sell like a Hebrew woman to another nation or something?
Yeah, it says
Are you talking about this? Deuteronomy 25 and 5. If a brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
There it is. That's the one right there. That's 25 and 5. I went to 25 and 25.
25 and 5.
Let you know right there. So if it was dealing with actual Israelites, then it wouldn't be given to a stranger because of this law right there. Because you would say, because once the husband dies, let's say this is the case, or she's a widow, whatever the case might be, she's still in ownership of whatever those possessions may be. So if she remarries, whoever she remarries is going to own that land, those things, or whatever. So it wouldn't be in our best interest to give our, you know what I mean, whether they're servants or whatever, give them to other nations. You see what I'm saying? Unless this person is already of another nation, and then, you know what I mean, you just give them up and, you know, they go to somebody else.
25 and 5.
Con.
Let me get that real quick. Let me just highlight that real quick before we move on.
Let me pull that up on the screen so people can see that. Says that which grow is out of his own accord. Oh, that was Deuteronomy. Slakia.
Oh, Deuteronomy 5 and 5.
Deuteronomy, yeah. Deuteronomy 25 and 5.
25 and 5. 21, 22, 5. If thy brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband.
And we see that happen in Genesis. Was that 38?
It might be 38 with Judah and his sons.
So we see that happen, and that's so not only the seed line, but the possessions that family may have doesn't leave without Israel, or it doesn't leave to another nation. And now all of a sudden we got 11 tribes in Moab. You see what I'm saying? Like that's so that doesn't happen.
So okay, so brothers go to this law though to justify having multiple wives,
Goes
but
to what law?
they'll go to 7 through 11, the woman servant law to justify multiple wives, but this is clearly talking about wives from other nations and not Israelite wives.
No, it's talking about well, yeah, because when the context changes at 7. So
Okay.
let me go back real quick.
But you see what I'm saying though? Like almost every Israelite will go to what is it? 10 to justify we can have multiple wives. We know Jacob had multiple wives. Um, but they was all Hebrew. Can't call them Israelites because Jacob is Israel, but at least they was all Hebrew. So if we do take multiple wives, like it's gotta be, I don't know. That's a, that's I know we'll get it. But
All right, let's finish out this chapter and then we can go back to that.
Khan. All right, verse 12. This is going into manslaughter. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall surely be put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumpt or presumpt what is that presumptuously? If a man come
Con.
presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from my altar, that he may die. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he should surely be put to death. Esau. and, and he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together on or Salaki, and if men strive together and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Uh, what's that? Only shall pay for those or for the losses or for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. So you got to pay for the man's healing if you hurt him. Verse 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. Verse 23. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Servant that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant tooth or his maidservant tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall surely be stoned, or shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit or quiet. Verse 29. But if the ox were if the ox were wont to punish or to push with his horn in time past, and it have been testified to his owner, and he have not kept him in, but that he have killed a man or woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. Damn. Um, damn. Verse 30. If there be laid on him what's that? A sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter. According to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a man servant or a maid servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels, and the ox shall be stoned. Damn. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man dig a pit and not cover it, and the ox or ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if one man's ox hurt another's that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Or if it be known that the ox have used to push in time past, and his owner have not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. And that's the end of that.
Khan, Shalom. The water for that. Let's see. So that is chapter 21. All 4 chapters of the class there. Now, what was we talking about before? Because I said we wanted to finish the chapter and we was want to get back into something about the multiple wives, right?
Khan.
Okay, so what was we do? What was we? You said brothers go where to justify?
They go to 21 in verse 10. If he take him another wife.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like they just go to that precept, right? They don't read it in context.
Con.
They
Hold
go
on
there
real
and
quick. I'm
say
gonna
it.
close out the class and then we're gonna go ahead and continue.
Con.
So all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the water for everybody tuning in, getting on the class, all the participants. Thank you. We'll tune in next time, next week, Lord willing, with the next Shabbat class. With that being said, the water, Shabbat Shalom.
So